Everyone, my name is Nidhi Chauhan. I'm assistant professor in Suresh Gyan Pharmacy, which is part of Suresh Gyan University, Jaipur. So today we are going to discuss a topic that is your carboxylic acid, and the carboxylic acid is the fifth unit of your pharmaceutical organic chemistry course that comes in your B Pharm second SAM, or you can say in first year. So let's start this carboxylic acid. In this, we are going to study about the carboxylic acid. Plus, we are also going to study about the chemical reactions of this carboxylic acid and what are the chemical reactions that are happening in this carboxylic acid. In the last lecture, also in the last video, you can also see we have discussed some of the chemical reactions. Plus, we have also discussed the method of preparations in this carboxylic acid. In this, we are going to another chemical reactions which are related to this carboxylic acid and how the carboxylic acid or the derivatives of this carboxylic acid are going to react with the reagents or in the presence of the catalyst. They are giving a different products. So let's start the topic, that is your carboxylic acid. And the carboxylic acids are organic compounds that are containing the carboxylic group, wherein the hydroxyl group is directly attached to the carbon. So the carboxylic acid function group is your COOH, and they are also the organic compounds because they are also containing the carbon and the hydrogen in them, and they are having the hydroxyl group, and that hydroxyl group, they are having the two part, means one they have the carbonyl part, carbonyl group, and the another they are having the hydroxyl group. So they are formed by the connection of the two functional groups, that is your carbonyl group and the hydroxyl group. As you know, already know that the carbonyl group compounds are your aldehydes, ketones, this carboxylic acid, your acetamides. So these are acid chlorides. So these are all the carbonyl group compounds. So this carboxylic acid is also a carbonyl group compound. And in this, you can see there is COO group is also present, and the hydroxyl group is also present in this carboxylic acid. So this carboxylic acid, these are the organic compounds, and they are containing the carboxylic group, that is your COOH, and in this the hydroxyl group, that is your OH, is directly attached to the carbonyl group. So in this the hydroxyl group, that is your OH, hydroxyl is your alcoholic group. So in this carboxylic acid, this your hydroxyl group is also present, and plus your carbonyl group is also present. So by the fusing of these two groups, this carboxylic acid is formed. So the name carboxylic acid is derived from this two function group. So the carbo part is taken from this carbonyl prefix, that is your this carbo part in this carboxylic acid. This carbo part is taken from this carbonyl, and this oxalic is taken from this hydroxyl. So here, this carboxylic acid is made up of your hydroxyl group as well as your carbonyl group. So by the fusing, by the bonding of both of these groups, this carboxylic acid is formed. And carboxylic acids are also present in, we can obtain it from the natural sources also. For example, I've already told you that the citric acid is having a carboxylic part in it, means they are having a functional group in the citric group, and they are obtained from the lemons and citrus fruit. Citric acid is obtained from the citrus fruit. For example, the lemon. So they are obtained from the natural source, that is your lemon. Next, so these carboxylic acids are also obtained from the natural source, and these carboxyl groups. So here the three representation of the carboxylic acid is given here. So this is your carboxyl group, that is your COOH, and if in this there is attachment of your alkyl group in them, then they form a compound. So this carboxyl group can be written in these three forms, and this can be written as RCOOH. So here the two function groups are showing here, as you can see in this. The RCOO, this is your carbonyl part and this is your hydroxyl part. Next is your RCOOH. So like this also we can write it. We can represent this carboxyl group. Thirdly is your RCO2H. So in this also, this O is, this is the carboxylate part. This carboxyl group in this carboxylic acid can be represented by these three structures. So next is your reactions. So now the reactions of carboxylic acid. So the reaction of carboxylic acid can be directed to various sites on the carboxyl group. So here, this reactions of this carboxylic acids means the reactions that are happening in this carboxylic acid can be directed to various sites. Means this carboxylic group is having a various site to which the chemical reactions is occurring in this carboxylic acids. So here the reaction site of the carboxylic group of carboxylic acid is your C. You can see here the structure of this carboxylic acid, that is your RCOOH. This is the function, this is the structure of this carboxylic acid. And here you can see there are four sites where the reactions can be take place. So here first is your electron rich oxygen targeted by the electrophile such as proton. So as you know that the electron files and electron loving, you can say that, or you can say they are deficient of the electron, so they need electron. So the need of the electron can be achieved by this oxygen which is having the lone pair. So this oxygen is having two pair of electrons, so they these electrophiles can easily target this oxygen because they are having the they are having the electrons on this oxygen, because they are having the electron rich, they are having the electron in them. So that is why they are targeted by the electrophile that need electron. They are electron deficient. For example, is a proton. Proton is a H positive. So H positive means they are not having electron. So they need electron. So that need can be achieved by this oxygen atom. So the hydrogen then attached to this oxygen for the, so and there is a formation of this bond. Secondly is this acidic proton targeted by the base. As you know that if the water get dissociated, it dissociated into H positive and OH negative. Now this basis means here OH negative. Okay, so this OH negative needs this H positive to form a, again, a water molecule. Okay, or any other basis you can take. So here acidic protons targeted by the basis. So this H that is shown by the red color. So this H is targeted by the, this is your acidic proton. Proton means if the electron will withdraw electron from this hydrogen and it will become a proton, means it become electron deficient. So this acidic and it become an acidic proton, and this acidic proton is targeted by the base. So it is targeted by the bases. Thirdly is the electron deficient carbon targeted by nucleophile. So this electron deficient carbon is targeted by the nucleophile, means here that this carbon is your electron deficient, means it is having a deficiency of electron. Means if the oxygen withdraw electron from this carbon, then it becomes partial positive charge and the oxygen becomes a partial negative charge. So this partial positive charge becomes an electron deficient carbon, and this can be easily targeted by the nucleophile. Nucleophile means they are electron rich. They have the property to donate electrons to the electron deficient to the electrophile, or you can say the electron deficient species. So this nucleophile then targeted, because they are having electron, they have the capability to donate electrons, so they will donate their electrons to the electron deficient species. So here the electron deficient species is your carbon. So this carbon is then targeted by the nucleophile. So next, fourth is your this CO2. So this CO2 then this whole CO2 is then removed from here. It will get loose from this carboxylic acid, and this four reactions, these are the side, and that losing of this carboxylic acid, sorry, this losing of this CO2 from this carboxylic acid. So these four reactions will occur in this reaction of carboxylic acid, where the reaction sites on the carboxylic groups of carboxylic acids are your first is the oxygen, that is your electron rich oxygen targeted by the electrophile such as your proton. Second is your hydrogen. So hydrogen is your acidic proton targeted by the bases. Third is your carbon, that is electron deficient carbon targeted by the nucleophile. So the reactions of carboxylic acid can be placed into four categories. First is your reaction at the acidic hydrogen on the carboxylic group. Second is the reaction at the carbonyl car group. Third is the reaction at the carboxylate oxygen. And the fourth is your reaction that leads to loss of the carboxylic group as CO2. So these are the reactions of the carboxylic acids. And the next we will discuss. This is the third reaction. In the last two reactions, we have discussed the Colville electrolysis also. So this is the third reaction that includes the reaction with metals and alkalis. So here the reaction with metals and alkali, some reactions which shows the acidic character of carboxylic compound are as follows. So in this, some reactions which show the acidic character of carboxylic compound are as follows. So first is your reaction with metal. So here this is showing the acidic character of your or a carboxylic compound, and the first reaction in this is your reaction with metal, and the reaction with metal is showing the acidic character of the carboxylic compound. So in this, the carboxylic acid react with active metals like potassium, calcium, magnesium to form salts by releasing hydrogen gas. So in this, this is your RCOOH plus Na. It forms RCOONA plus H2O. So this is your carboxylic acid. Here we have taken the two molecules of your carboxylic acid plus sodium, and there is a formation of this sodium salt of the carboxylic acid and plus hydrogen. Next is your here the example is given, acetic acid as example. Acetic acid is taken and it is reacted with the sodium, and there is a formation of the salt of the sodium plus hydrogen is removed now. So the acidic character of carboxylic compound is your hydrogen that is removing from here, that is removing from this carboxylic acid, and there is a formation of this hydrogen gas. So in this, in the reaction with metal, the carboxylic acid is reacting with the active metals. Active metal, you can take your calcium, potassium, sodium, and magnesium, and there is a formation of a salt. And here this hydrogen from the two molecules of this carboxylic acid, the hydrogen gas is evolved out or released out from here. So there is a formation of this sodium salt of this carboxylic acid, or you can say the sodium salt of an acid plus hydrogen gas is released out. So the example is the acetic acid. In the acetic acid, there we have taken two molecules of acetic acid, which is reacting with the two molecules of sodium, and there is a formation of the sodium salt of acetic acid plus your hydrogen. Next is your reaction with alkalis. So here reaction of alkalis involves carboxylic acid reacts with alkalis like sodium hydroxide to form salts and water. So here the carboxylic acid is reacting with alkalis like sodium hydroxide to form a salt and water. So here you can see this is your carboxylic acid, this is your sodium hydroxide, and when sodium hydroxide is reacting with this carboxylic acid, there is a formation of this sodium salt of an acid plus H2O is removed, or means water is formed here. So here the example is taken, that is your acetic acid plus NaOH, sodium hydroxide, and there is a formation of your sodium salt of acetic acid, or you can say the sodium salt of an acid plus water molecule is involved out. So here you can see this, that carboxylic acid is reacting. So here what is happening here, that H is removed out from here. H is removed out from here, and here the dissociation between the sodium and sodium hydroxide is this. Na will get the positive charge and OH will get the negative charge. Now this H is attacked by this alkali, which I have told you in the last slide. So here this acidic proton is targeted by the bases. So here you will see this acidic hydrogen, or you can say this acidic proton. This proton is attacked by this alkali. This is your alkali. OH negative is your alkali, and this OH negative alkali will react with this hydrogen, and there is a formation of water molecule, and this sodium will react with this carboxylic acid. So there is a formation of the salt of an acid plus water molecule is formed. Again, I am telling you this reaction with metals and alkali. This is this type of reaction, that is your acidic proton targeted by the base, or you can say the reaction at the acidic hydrogen on the carboxyl group. So in this is your reaction with metals and alkali. So some reactions which show the acidic character of carboxylic compound are as follows, and these reactions are showing the acidic character of this carboxylic compound by the removal of this hydrogen from here, acidic hydrogen from here. So in the first is a reaction with metal. So in this, the carboxylic acid is reacting with active metals like potassium, calcium, magnesium, and there is a formation of salt, and there is a release of hydrogen gas from there. So here hydrogen gas is released down, so there is a formation of this RCOOH, that is your carboxylic acid plus sodium, and there is a formation of this sodium salt of carboxylic acid plus hydrogen gas is formed out, or you can say the hydrogen gas is released out. So here we have taken the example, that is your acetic acid. So here we have taken the two molecules of acetic acid, and it is reacting with the sodium. And the sodium, after that there is a formation of the sodium salt of acetic acid, or you can say the sodium salt of an acid plus hydrogen gases released out or evolved out. Second is this reaction with alkali. This is also showing the acidic proton which is attacked or targeted by the bases. So here you will see that the carboxylic acid is reacting with the alkali like sodium hydroxide, and there is a formation of salt and water. So again, this from this carboxylic acid, which will be dissociated into RCOO negative and H positive. So and this sodium hydroxide will dissociate into Na positive and OH negative. So this OH negative will react with this H positive, and this RCOO negative will react with this sodium. So there is a formation of this RCOO plus H2O is formed. So this is your acetic acid, and acetic acid is reacted with this sodium hydroxide, and there is a formation of this CH3COONA plus H2. So acetic acid is reacting with sodium hydroxide, and there is a formation of the sodium salt of acetic acid plus water molecule. Next is your reaction with sodium bicarbonate. So saying this sodium reaction with the sodium bicarbonate. So you will see here that there is a evolve out of this carboxylic acids are weaker than mineral acids. So these carboxylic acids are weaker than this mineral acid like sulfuric acid or nitric acid, and are able to react with weaker bases. So these are weak acids, and they are reacting with the weak bases like carbonates and bicarbonates to evolve carbon dioxide with water. So here carbon dioxide and water is evolved out. So when carboxylic acid, which is a weak acid, is reacting with the sorry, reacting with the weak base like your carbonates and bicarbonates, so there is a evolution of sorry, evaluation of your carbon dioxide and water molecule. So in the reaction, you can see here the carboxylic acid is reacting with sodium bicarbonate, and there is a formation of reacting with this carboxylic acid is reacting with this sodium bicarbonate. Carboxylic acid when reacting with this sodium bicarbonate, so there is a formation of the sodium salt of an acid, plus this carbon dioxide is released out or evolved out, and a formation of water molecule is there. So how they are formed? So the example is given here, the acetic acid. And acetic acid is reacting with the sodium bicarbonate, and there's a formation of this sodium salt of an acid, means sodium salt of an acetic acid, plus H2O is formed and CO2 is evolved out. So this reaction with sodium bicarbonate is also used as a functional group determination of carboxylic acid. So this reaction with sodium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate. So this whole reaction is also used when we have to find out that which functional group is present in the unknown sample. So this reaction is also used in the determination of functional group, that is your carboxylic acid. So first reaction of this is, for means here this RCOOH, how they are formed. See, this will dissociate into CH3COO negative and H positive. Okay, so here this sodium will evolve out from here, that will form H positive. Okay, next this H positive will react with this form. So now the CO2 from this HCO3, the CO2 will revolve out from here, and this H and this H and plus O1 which is left with from the CO3, that will form a water molecule. So how this like this is formed? Means from the CH3COH will dissociate into CH3COO negative and H positive. Next Na positive, HCO3 negative will form. This Na will react with this CH3COO negative. There is a formation of this salt of an acetic acid, plus water molecule is formed from the this HCO3 and H positive and HO will react with this, means OH will react with this, OH negative will react with this H, and there is a formation of this water molecule, and CO2 is left, then CO2 is evolved out as a gas form, means that is a carboxylate or carbon dioxide. So reaction with sodium bicarbonate, carboxylic acid, that is a weaker acid that is reacting with your weak base like your carbonate and the bicarbonate, and from this reaction there is a evolution of your carbon dioxide plus water plus your the sodium salt of an acid is formed, and this reaction is also used in the determination of the functional group as carboxylic acid. Next is your formation of acid derivatives. So here acid derivatives are formed. The carboxylic acid derivatives, that is your acyl halides, acid anhydride, esters, and acid amides can be derived from carboxylic acid by the replacement of OH part of a COOH group by some other groups like Cl, OR, NH2. So there is a formation of this acid derivatives from this carboxylic acid. Means here the acid derivatives are your acyl halides, that is the RCO. Cl means RCO is your acyl and halide is your Cl. Acid anhydride, that is your RCOOCOR. Next is your esters, that is your RCOOR, and acid amides, that is your RCONH2. These can be derived from the carboxylic acid by the replacement of your OH, that is a part of a carboxyl group, by some other groups like your Cl, OR, NH2. Means here you can see the carboxylic acid is having this carbonyl part and the this hydroxy part. So after the replacement, we are replacing this OH by these groups. So there is a formation of this derivatives of carboxyl. Means if this OH is replaced by this Cl, then there is a formation of this acyl halide. If this OH is replaced by this OR, then there is a formation of this ester. If this OH is replaced by this NH2, then there is a formation of this acid amide is formed. So these acid derivatives are formed from this carboxylic acid by the replacement of this OH part from this COOH group. Next, in this, the first is your formation of your acid halide. So now how the acid halide, which is the derivative of the carboxylic acid, is formed from this carboxylic acid reaction. So here the carboxylic acid react with halide derivatives like phosphorus trichloride, PCl3, phosphorus tribromide, PBr3, phosphorus pentachloride, that is your PCl5, and thionyl chloride, that is your SOCl2, to form acyl halide. So this acyl halides are formed by the replacement of OH part of COOH group by a Cl or Br group. So here you will see that the carboxylic acids reacting with the halide derivatives. So here, first example, you can see here that acetic acid is reacting with this PCl5, that is a phosphorus pentachloride, and there is a formation of this acetyl chloride plus POCl3 and HCl is formed here. Next, you can see the acetic acid is reacting with this PCl3, that is your phosphorus trichloride. Similarly, acetyl chloride is formed and there is phosphoric acid is formed here plus HCl. Next is your acetic acid is reacting with this thionyl chloride and there is a formation of this acetyl chloride plus sulfur dioxide plus HCl is formed. Again, the benzoic acid is reacting with this phosphorus pentachloride and there is a formation of this benzoyl chloride plus POCl3 plus HCl is formed here. So from this acetic acid, this derivative of this acetic acid is formed here, like the carboxylic acid is reacting with the halide derivatives. Firstly, it is reacting with this PCl5 and there is a removal of this OH, means they are replacing this OH and there is a replacement is your Cl. So here there is a formation of this acetyl chloride. So in this you can see here this is removing out from here and there is a formation of this acetyl chloride. So from this POOH, this OH, one Cl will react with this and there is a formation of this HCl and this O which is left from this OH will react with this phosphorus and there is a formation of this POCl3. So there is a formation of this and derivative of your carboxylic acid. Next is your acetic acid with PCl5. Again, same from here, this OH will remove out and there is a formation of this CH3COCl. So from here, one Cl will react with this Cl, and here we have taken the three molecules of this CH3COOH, means acetic acid. So here the H3, because we have the three molecules. So this H3 will react with this PO3. So if this O is also 3, so this OH3 means whole 3 to react with this P and there is a formation of this H3PO3 plus one H is left that will react with this HCl. Next is your acetic acid with thionyl chloride. Again, this OH will replace by this Cl and there is a formation of this SO2 and HCl is formed. Next, benzoic acid. In this benzoic acid, when this is your aromatic carboxylic acid, and when it is reacting with this PCl5, then there is a formation of this benzoyl chloride, and there is a formation of this POCl3 plus HCl is formed. So this is the first reaction in the formation of acid derivative, that is your formation of acid halide. Next, when benzoic acid, that is aromatic benzoic acid, when it is reacting with this PBr3, that is your phosphorus tribromide, there is a formation of this benzoyl bromide and POH3 is formed here. Next, when benzoic acid is reacting with this Thionyl chloride, there is a formation of this benzyl chloride plus SO2 plus HCl is formed here. So this acyl halide like acyl chlorides are also prepared by the reaction of sodium salts of carboxylic acids with phosphorus trichloride, that is your PCl3 or thionyl chloride. So this acyl halide like acyl chloride are also prepared by the reaction of sodium salt of carboxylic acid with phosphorus trichloride or thionyl chloride. So this is formed here. So next is your sodium acetate. This sodium acetate is reacting with this PCl3, that is a phosphorus trichloride. There is a formation of this acetyl chloride. It means these carboxylic acid derivatives are also formed from the sodium salts of carboxylic acid. When this sodium salt of carboxylic acid are reacting with this phosphorus trichloride or thionyl chloride, there is a formation of this acyl halides are forming here. Means acyl chlorides or acyl bromides, acyl chlorides are formed from this. So here you will see that the first reaction is your sodium acetate, that is a sodium salt of a carboxylic acid. Then this is reacting with this PCl5, PCl3, that is a phosphorus trichloride. There is a formation of this acetyl chloride, and sodium phosphate is formed here. So this is formed here. Next, in the calcium acetate, this calcium acetate, when reaction, this is also the this is the calcium salt of an carboxylic acid. This is also the salt of an carboxylic acid. So this carboxylic acid, salt of an calcium salt of an carboxylic acid, when it's reacting with this thionyl chloride, there is a formation of this acetyl chloride plus calcium sulfate is formed. Next is the formation of acid anhydride. So these acid anhydride are formed here. So the acid anhydride can be obtained by the dehydration of carboxylic group in the presence of strong dehydrating agents like P2O5, that is your pentaoxide, and concentrated H2SO4. So this acid anhydride can be obtained. This can be obtained by the dehydration. Means the carboxylic acid is there is a dehydration in the carboxyl group in the presence of the strong dehydrating agents like your P2O5 or concentrated H2SO4. So first example is your acid, that is your any acid you have taken. So here we are reacting or we are heating it with this phosphorus pentaoxide, and when we are heating it with, there is a formation of this acid anhydride. Here we have taken the two molecules of this acid. Two molecules of acid is taken, and this two molecules of acid is reacting with this or heating with this P2O5, that is a phosphorus pentaoxide, and there is a formation of this acid anhydride plus water molecule is formed. So here we have taken the two molecules of this acid. So here two molecules of acid, from the two molecules of acid, this OH and that H will remove out from here, and there is a formation of this water molecule, and this acid anhydride is formed. Next, in this we have shown the example with the acetic acid, and this acetic acid is reacting with this or heating with this phosphorus pentaoxide, and there is a formation of this acid anhydride, and water molecule is formed. Next, we have taken the example of your phthalic acid. So in your phthalic acid, you can see that in the phthalic acid, when it is heated, then there is a formation of this phthalic anhydride is formed here. So this phthalic anhydride is formed when this phthalic acid is formed, and there is a formation of this phthalic anhydride is formed. So from here, the removal of water molecules occurs. So from this heating, there is a removal of your water molecule from here. So the formation of acid anhydride, the acid anhydride, which is also a derivative of the carboxylic acid, this can be obtained by the dehydration of carboxylic group in the presence of strong dehydrating agent like P2O5 or concentrated H2SO4. Next is your formation of esters. Now, how esters are formed from? This ester is also a carboxylic acid derivative. So these are also formed from the carboxylic acid. So this carboxylic acid is reacting with alcohol, and they are forming esters in the presence of pure concentrated H2SO4, and this reaction involves the replacement of OH group by OR group of alcohol of phenol, and also known as Fischer's pair esterification. So this whole reaction is known as Fischer's pair esterification. For example, ethanoic acid is reacting with this ethanol, and there is a formation of this ethyl ethanate. So this carboxylic acid is reacting with the alcohol. So we are reacting with this acid with the alcohol in the presence of this concentrated H2SO4, and there is a formation of this ethyl acetate is there by the replacement of this OH group OH group by the OR group of the alcohol or phenol, and there is a removal of water molecule from here. So here ethanoic acid is reacting with the ethanol. So here you can see that this acetic acid is reacting with this ethanol, and with this the presence of the strong acid, and there is a formation of this ethyl acetate plus water molecule. So from here you can see that this water molecule H and this OH, it will remove out from here, and there will be a formation of this water molecule from here, or you can say this OH and H will remove out from here, and this OR, this OC2H5 will react with this PO, and there is a formation of this ethyl acetate is formed here. So means ester is formed. So ester can also be prepared by the action of the ethereal solution of diazomethane on carboxylic acid, means benzoic acid plus uh, diazomethane are reacting, and in the presence of an ether, so there is a formation of a methyl benzoate plus nitrogen gas is involved out. So here esters can also be prepared by the reaction of the ethereal solution of this diazomethane on benzoic acid. This benzoic acid is your carboxylic acid, aromatic carboxylic acid, and there is a formation of this this ester is forming here. So you can see here benzoic acid is reacting with this diazomethane, and methyl benzoate is formed, and NO2 is evolved out from. So from here you will see that here we have taken the two molecules of this diazomethane. Then after that there is a C2H5, and the C2H5 will react with this here benzoic acid, and this H will evolve out from here, and there is a formation of this N2 nitrogen gas is evolved out. So ester can also be prepared by the reaction of silver salt of acid on alkyl halide. Means here silver salt of an acid is also reacting with the alkyl halide, and there is a formation of this ester is forming here. Plus silver halides are forming. So this silver acetate is reacting with this ethyl bromide, and this ethyl acetate is forming, plus a silver bromide is forming. So here the example is taken, the silver acetate is taken here, and this silver acetate is reacting with this ethyl bromide, and there is a formation of this ethyl acetate plus AgBr is formed here. Next is your formation of your amides. Now amides, how amides are formed. So the carboxylic acid is reacting with this ammonia, and there is a formation of this ammonium salt, which on heating loses water molecule to form amide. So this acetic acid is reacting with this ammonia plus, and there is a formation of this ammonium salt is formed here. And when we heat this ammonia salt, then there is a formation of this acetamide, and from there, from the salt of this ammonia, this water molecule is removed out from here. Means from the heating of this salt of ammonia, the water molecule is loses out from here from this salt, and there is a formation of this acetamide is formed. Next is the mechanism of decarboxylation. Means mechanism of decarboxylation means from the carboxylic group the CO2 is removed out. the CO2 molecule is evolved out. So here, when anhydrous sodium salt of a fatty acid is heated with soda lime NaOH plus CaO or copper quinine, it flow uses carbon dioxide and there is a formation of an alkane. So this reaction is known as decarboxylation reaction. So in the mechanism of your decarboxylation or the reactions of your decarboxylation, here when this salt of a fatty acid, so the salt of an anhydrous salt of an sodium salt of an fatty acid is heated, and when it is heated with soda lime is your soda hydroxide plus calcium oxide. This whole forms a soda lime. So this when this fatty acid, the sodium salt of fatty acid is heated with this soda lime or copper or quinine, then there is a loss of carbon dioxide and there is a formation of an alkane. So alkane is formed there. So this reaction is known as decarboxylation reaction. So this reaction is known as your decarboxylation. So the loss of the CO2 and the CO2 from this carboxylic acid, and there is a formation of an alkane. This is known as your decarboxylation reaction. So decarboxylation reaction is of two types. First is a simple decarboxylation reaction. So in the simple decarboxylation reaction, in this that the sodium salt of acid is heated with the soda lime, that is your sodium hydroxide plus your calcium oxide, and there is a formation of this alkane. So alkane is formed there, plus CO2 is formed, plus carbon dioxide is formed. So mechanism of decarboxylation: when anhydrous sodium salt of a fatty acid is heated with soda lime, means your sodium hydroxide plus CaO or copper quinine, then it loses carbon dioxide and there is a formation of an alkane. And this reaction is known as your decarboxylation reaction, because there is a removal of the carbon dioxide from the carboxylic acid, and that is why this reaction is known as decarboxylation reaction. In decarboxylation reaction is of two types. First is a simple carboxylation. In this, we are heating the sodium salt of an acid with the soda lime, and there is a formation of alkane, and the evolution of your carbon dioxide, or the carbon dioxide is released out. Next, this is the mechanism of your this simple carboxylic acid. So here you will see that this is the acetic acid, acetate ion, and from here you will see this R is removed out and it will withdraw electron from this carbon atom. So it is having a negative charge, and the H from this is removed out. So this R and H will form a alkane, and from here CO2 will form the carbon dioxide is evolved out. So next is your beta carbonyl carboxylic acid. So the beta keto carboxylic acid loses CO2 readily on heating at about 100 degrees centigrade. So this is the beta keto carboxylic acid. So on the beta position, so this is the main functional group. This is the carboxylic acid, and the alpha position, and this is the beta. So on the beta position, there is a keto. So this keto, this is a beta keto carboxylic acid. And when this is heated, the CO2 is released out or loses, and there is a formation of this ketone. So here you will see this RCO and this CO2. This CO2 will remove out from here, and this H will form a bond with this CH2. So there is a formation of this ketone. So the mechanism of this decarboxylation of beta keto acid takes place via six-membered cyclic transition state. That is your this. So this is your beta keto acid, and here you will see this. This is your heating shown here. So this is your hydrogen bonding with this keto oxygen, and there is a formation of this ketone, and there is a evolve out of this carbon dioxide. So here you will see that this bond, when this hydrogen will roll out from here, this will form a bond with this of carbon, and this will remove out from here, and this bond will shift it to this position. So here there is a formation of this ketone plus your carbon dioxide. Simple copper salts such as a copper hydroxide or copper carbonate can also be used in decarboxylation of aliphatic and aromatic acid. For example, is a benzoic acid when it is heated with this copper carbonate or copper hydroxide, there is a formation of a benzene. Next is your method of formation and chemical reaction of halo acids. So in this hydroxy acid or your halo acids, amino acids, and nitro acids are the derivative of mono carboxylic acid and known as substituted carboxylic acid. So in this, the preparation of halo acid first is a Hell-Bollard Jelinek reaction taken into by hydroxy acid by alpha beta saturated carboxylic acid by the reaction of sulfuric chloride on carboxylic acid. Next is your chemical reaction of halo acids. So these are the reactions. Next is your quotients. So in your quotients, first is the hydrolysis of CH3, CH2, NO2 with a 85% H2SO4 give which of the following compound. So here you will get this D acetic acid. Arrange the following O group in the order of decreasing order. Plus I effect, that is your A, that is your P6H5O negative, COO negative, Cr3, then CH, and H. Next is your when benzyl alcohol is oxidized with KMNO4, the product obtained is which of the following? That is your benzaldehyde. When benzyl alcohol is oxidized with KMNO4, the product obtained is your B, benzoic acid. So this is the reaction in which the A will form with A and B. Which of the following acid is present? That is a citric acid is present in the lamine. The product of the reaction of carboxylic acid and alcohol will be your what? Acetal and water will be formed. That is the esterification reaction. The organic acid that does not has COOH group is your carbolic acid. So these are the references, and thank you for today's topic.